In this part we're going to do the oil pastels. So once you get your fish drawn and your seaweed finished and Mr. Lundgren comes over and gives you a thumbs up, you've done a good job on that, then you're going to start your oil pasteling. Now, on this version, you can see that I've blended the colors together. That means I took the oil pastels and I kind of smeared them together. So I'm going to show you how to do that so that you can see how it works. You're going to take your oil pastels. I'm going to start with yellow. I'm going to make the same fish just like I made this other one. I'm going to color it in. We're going to color it in first. And you can see how I'm pressing really hard so that there's no white paper left. We want it to be completely covered with oil pastel. So there's a little bit of yellow. Then I'm going to move to orange. I'm going to make the middle part orange. And you can see how as I do the middle part here, I press hard again so there's no white space. And I go right up to that line where there's the yellow. Okay, I go right up to that line. And then I'm going to move to a red color for the back here. You can see how I color right over the top of my orange. Okay, and I'm going to move my red into the tail. Then I'm going to use some pink right on the back. Notice I'm using the warm colors. We're going to use the warm colors on our fish so that they stand out against our cool blue background once we're done with our background. Now what you can do once you've got your fish all the way colored in, so you can take your finger, you can kind of blend it back and forth by smearing the color. So there's a smooth transition from one color to the next. So if you take your finger and just kind of smear back and forth like that, we get a nice cool transition from one color to the next. Okay, so another really cool thing is if you put the oil pastels on thick enough, you can take the edge of a paper clip, or you can take your fingernail too. Your fingernail works too, but I'm going to have these little paper clips ready for you, and you can take the edge of the paper clip and you can scrape through the oil pastel like this. Now you don't want to press so hard that you ruin the paper, but you can take these and just scratch in a pattern into the oil pastels. Okay, so when you guys get the opportunity and you start oil pasteling your fish, you want to press really hard so that you can put on designs and decorations later. Okay, once you get the colored part done and you've got the scratching through part done, you're going to take your oops, I forgot his fin down here. Whoops, almost forgot that part. Okay, once you get done, don't forget the eyes. I'm going to just color his eye green. And then take a black or a dark blue and outline around your fish. So he stands out nicely. Okay, so oh, I forgot the eye. Just like that. Okay? Then once you get your first fish done, do your other fish. And then you're going to do your seaweed. Okay, this is how we're going to do this seaweed. I want you to use a couple different colors of green, and I'm just going to do one seaweed here first, and then you're going to do the other seaweed on your own. See, so I'm just showing you the skills of number one, how to blend like I did here, and then number two, how to scratch through it. So if I start with my light green, here's my light green for my seaweed. Notice I am pressing hard. Okay, and you can then take a different green and go right next to it on the side. See how I do that? Color right off the edge of the page. And then maybe even a third color here. And you can blend those together with your finger, just like we did before. Make sure that all the paper is full. Then you could even use this and make some little leaves if you make a straight line. And then you make a little oval and color it in. You've got yourself a leaf. You can use the green to make the edges of it. Okay, make another one over here. Okay, and once you get your seaweed done, you can leave your seaweed or you can trace around it maybe with a really dark blue. This is a really dark blue. Instead of tracing around it with black, you might want to use dark blue. Okay, so there's my one fish and my one seaweed. Now I'm going to continue and finish the oil pastel on my own, and we'll just let that play. But at this point, I'd like you to start doing your oil pastel. Remember, you're going to blend your colors. You're going to use warm colors on your fish and green for your seaweed. And then one last trick I want to show you. If you can find yourself a white or a gray, you can take the white and make little bubbles above the fish. If you see me here, I'm going to rub it right there. And then I'm going to make a circle here and make a bigger circle and make a bigger circle. And now you can probably not really see that, but what's going to happen is when we do our watercoloring, you can see the bubbles here coming up from my fish. And what I did is I used a white oil pastel, and then when you watercolor over it, you'll see the white bubbles. I'm also going to make a couple wiggly lines here, not a lot, just one or two, with white and gray. And then when we start our watercoloring, you'll get wiggly lines in the water that you didn't see before, and it'll kind of make it look cool. It'll give your water some texture. Okay, so finish those. Don't forget, warm colors, blending it, green for your seaweed, and some little white wiggles in your water with some white bubbles for your fish.